Kucinich, I think it's fair to say you're a liberal Democrat, but I want to ask you, does it bother you that the CIA, as we now know, originally wrote about links to al-Qaeda, originally wrote about having warned the State Department for months about threats in Benghazi, and that all of that was taken out? And let's put this up on the screen. State Department official Victoria Nuland wrote, in pushing back against what the CIA had written, that information could be abused by members of Congress to beat up the State Department for not paying attention to warnings. So why would we want to feed that either? Concerned. This, Congressman, from the transparent administration of Barack Obama.
Well, I didn't need those memos to know that it was wrong for us to intervene in Libya. So this is one liberal Democrat who said the intervention was wrong. And what the attack on the consulate brings up, Chris, is the failure of the Benghazi policy from the beginning. And that's why they had to call it a street demonstration instead of an attack, because then on the eve of an election, that brought in a whole new narrative about foreign policy, about dealing with terrorism, and about the consequences that led to 4 deaths of people who served the United States.
So do you think those talking points were politically scrubbed?
Of course they were. Come on, are you kidding? You know, this is one of those things that you have to realize. We're in the circumference of an election. And when you get on the eve of an election, everything becomes political. Unfortunately, Americans died. And people who believe in America, who put their lives on the line, they weren't provided with protection, they weren't provided with a response. They and their families had a right to make sure that they were defended. Look, we went into Benghazi under the assumption that somehow there was going to be a massacre in Benghazi. So we went there to protect the Libyan people. We couldn't go into Benghazi to protect our own Americans who were serving there. I'm offended by this, and there has to be real answers to the questions that are being raised.